I don't remember what I thought, but she is a podcast host for a true crime podcast that she created. I feel like I repeat myself a lot. It's coming up next. Things have been happening the entire book, but like things are like, yeah. Hi everybody, it's Audrey and welcome back to Chapter and Converse, and welcome to a bit of a catch-up video. So I wanted to hop on today because you guys, I hit 5,000 subscribers and I can't even believe it. And like us collectively hit 5,000 subscribers. And I was talking to my friends about it and I was like, even if I only hit it for a day, and I like screenshot it to mark the moment. But you guys, it's so crazy. So I thought I would hop on to thank all of you guys who, I know so many of you have been here since the very beginning, thank you very much, but who have watched and subscribed and liked and shared and commented and just sort of been a part of this entire journey with me. I can't even, like, I don't even know where to begin. I started this channel, again, for those who have been here since the beginning, you know this, because I was in a creative rut, I was in a life rut, I was in like a rut, and I was just looking for some sort of an outlet, something to do, something different, something to challenge myself, and I was really looking for a community. And I'd been watching BookTube, and I admired people who were making the videos, and I was like, I want to be able to do this, but I was just so nervous about it and unsure, and I finally did it. And if you really want a good laugh, all those beginning videos are here listed like on the channel and stuff like that, which is not to say that like since then things have gotten so much better, but I definitely would like to think I have sort of figured out lighting and maybe am a little less awkward, but probably not. But it's been so fun. You guys know I just have a really good time with this. I try to have a really good time with this, try to have a good sense of humor, and just love talking books, authors, writing, stuff. So I thought today we could talk book, authors, writing, and stuff. So I thought I would just catch up on what I'm reading, what's going on, what I'm watching, some of that stuff. And then I don't know if anybody would be interested in maybe like, I was thinking like a 5K Q&A type of a thing, and I could certainly take questions, post something on Instagram. I don't know, like not like I'm gonna like have a party, but I'm kind of just, you know, excited about it and wanted to figure out a way to commemorate it. This is not like totally me commemorating it, sort of me commemorating it, but anyway, wouldn't be me if I'm not rambling. But why don't we talk about what's been going on, what I'm reading, and I just wanted to like mark the moment on video. So here I am, marking a moment. So I'm very happy that I'm having a good reading mode right now. I feel like my quantity has slowed down a little bit, but my quality, as long as that stays strong, it's okay, because I would rather read fewer great books than a whole bunch of not so great books. So 2 books that I have going right now. So I'm doing an audiobook and a book. So the audiobook I'm doing, I have the book of as well, and this is Girl 11 by Amy Suter Clark. So I talked about this in my Books That Feature podcast video that I did pretty recently, and I had heard great things about this from Lindsay from Lindsay's Little Library, so of course I bought it because she's like, it's a thriller, you would love it. So I was like, done, I don't need anything else. I don't need to know anything else. But this has a podcast interwoven into it, and you guys, the audiobook, as expected, is amazing. And I don't remember, I'm trying to think, I know a bunch of you guys told me to do 6 stories as the audiobook, but the audiobook of this is great. So it's multiple actors, you get like that whole podcast vibe a la Sadie, like background noises, different things going on. It sounds like a very authentic podcast, which I love, but you just get like a fully fleshed out cast. And I just think so far it's really, really, really well done. I'm in the home stretch. I am on page 281. I don't have my audio in front of me, out of 336. So somebody can do math. I'm near the end. So this book is about a woman named El Castillo, and she trained as a social worker, and she used to work with the police with like child protective services, and then she wound up starting her own podcast called Justice Delayed. This season of her podcast is about the Countdown Killer, and this is someone who 20 years ago was kidnapping girls, and he was kidnapping them in like descending ages. So he would kidnap like a 20-year-old, a 19-year-old, an 18-year-old, and so on. And he was never caught. and she has been fascinated with this case. So she quotes, the intro quote to this book is from Michelle McNamara, who wrote I Will Find You in the Dark, who was high-key obsessed with the Golden State Killer. So the quote in here is, I need to see his face. He loses his power when we know his face. And this book is definitely, I would say, kind of an homage to Michelle McNamara. So not the Golden State Killer case, but about a woman who is obsessed with this old murder case that has never been solved, and she is intent on figuring out what happened and who the Countdown Killer is, very much the way that Michelle McNamara became completely obsessed with the Golden State Killer. And it's really, really interesting in sort of the commentary about the public's fascination with true crime podcasts and the impact that true crime podcasts have had sort of on broader society and culture and pop culture. And it's just really well done. So I am enjoying this, keeping it super vague since it's a thriller, but I will let you guys know obviously at the end of the month what I totally think of it, but really enjoying this one. And I will also say, so I did that books featuring podcast video, like I said, and I'll link it for you guys. And I did not mention The Night Swim by Megan Golden. And a whole bunch of people were like, did you not read this? You didn't mention this. So I had mentioned this book. Like, I intentionally didn't mention this in the podcast one because I talked about this in a different video I did recently because Megan Golden has a new book coming out this summer. And I'm trying to not repeat the same books in every video I do because I feel like I repeat myself a lot. It's coming up next. So I intentionally left it out, but then a whole bunch of people were like, did you not read this? Or like, why did you forget this one? So honorable mention, The Night Swim by Megan Golden is absolutely amazing. And I also realized that someone watching this video or my podcast video might not have watched all my videos. So I'm trying to like dance the line between not repeating myself, but still referencing books that I love. So anyway, this book is Dual Timelines. I physically read it, but I heard the audiobook of this book is tremendous. So I am a huge rereader. I'm in a huge rereading mode. So when my reread of this book comes up in my mood, I will definitely look for the, I was gonna say the podcast of it, the audiobook of it. So this one follows a woman named Rachel Crawl, and she is also a true crime podcaster. And she follows cases and podcasts about them live, sort of as the case is unfolding. So in this book, she goes to this small town, and there is a local golden boy, a swimmer destined for Olympic greatness, has been accused of raping the beloved granddaughter of the police chief. So she is doing season 3 of this podcast. She goes there to cover this case. It has a lot of reminiscent feeling of Brock Turner and Chanel Miller. So we are seeing this case in the present day as it unfolds. And then while Rachel is there covering this case, she gets a letter on her car about a case that took place in the past, and it's a cold case and someone is looking for her to help solve that case as well. So we get the dual timelines. We have 2 cases happening in this same town, and it's just really well done. I'm a big fan of Megan Golden. I really loved The Escape Room as well, which was her first book, but honorable mention delayed to my podcast video. If you guys are looking for great books with podcasts featured in them, definitely this one too. I don't know why I took that dramatic pause, like I was going to move on to like another section of the video. So the other book I'm reading right now is The Last Time I Lied by Riley Sager. So I'm physically reading this. This is a reread for me. And I read this when it first, or kind of like not so long after it first came out. So I read Final Girls when it was out in paperback is when I found that book. And then I read this not long afterwards. And again, if you guys have been here for a while, you know, I'm obsessed with Riley Sager. Final Girls is my favorite. I've read it a couple of times. And I think one of the reasons why I didn't love this so much, and I can't believe I'm saying this about Riley Sager, is because I read it not long after Final Girls. And I feel like anything would have been a letdown after that because I'm obsessed with Final Girls. So I have not read this book since like 2018. And I feel like it's one of his, I feel like it's his book that I know the least. So yes, came out in 2018. So I wanted to reread it because his new book is coming out in like a week and a half. And I want to do sort of an all-in spotlight video on Riley Sager, and I feel like I can't speak to this book as well as I can speak to the other ones, and I'm also curious to see how my feelings change. So I went back and looked on Goodreads. I gave this a 3, which I'm also like, Who am I? I'm obsessed with Riley Sager. So I'm a little bit more than halfway. I would say I'm probably like 60% of the way into this book, and I'm really enjoying it. And I don't remember what I didn't enjoy before, or like why I didn't think it was amazing, or like why I didn't think it was 5 stars, but I remember really liking it. So anyway, we'll see. And I remember, again, parts of it, but not all the details of it, so it's always like a nice fun rediscovery. And I actually read this from the library the first time I read it, so I've obviously since picked up a hardcover of it, but I am dog-earing it, as you guys can see. So case in point, I'm very much enjoying this book. So also end of June, I will let you guys know what I think, or actually I'll let you guys know what I think when I do my spotlight video of Riley Sager, because obsessed. So that's what's happening in my book life. And then I don't know what I kind of know what I'm gonna read next, because I have one more 5-star prediction that I need to finish for the thrifted 5-star prediction I'm doing with Sarah and Lindsay for Bookless Thursday. And our wrap-up video will be out June 30th. So I have one more book there that I need to read. And I'm doing The Weight of Lies by Emily Carpenter. So you'll find out in that video what I thought of that book. And then, other than that, I don't know what I'm going to read next. I just, you know, moody. So we'll see what happens. So that is kind of book life. And I would love to sit here and tell you guys that I've been writing up a storm, but I have not. But I have been brainstorming, kind of trying to work out some plot problems. So I've got a few things that just weren't working, and I'm trying to figure out kind of, it's not like one specific thing isn't working. Like I had one thing I needed to figure out, and then there was something else where I felt like I was forcing something, but I like need it to be there / want it to be there when it comes to like point of view characters. So anyway, I'm not gonna tell you guys anything about my book. Hey, because I'm like way too superstitious, and it's just not how I function. So someday. But I think I have figured out how I can make the point of view character make better sense, which doesn't make any sense to you guys, but just trust. I think I maybe have figured something out. And then there's something that I need to research. And I mean, there's like 1,000 other things going into it, but like I need to figure out some of these pieces before I want to sit down and start revising, because I have many a times sat down without a plan, sat down to revise without figuring out what I knew were problems, and tried to like write around them. And I mean, no one's gonna be surprised to know that those stories did not wind up getting finished or making sense or working. And I need to be able to just have a bit more of a plan. And as a non-planning person when it comes to her writing, it's very hard for me, but I'm just trying to figure some stuff out. So I am writing in my head. So I'm working a little bit, but not as much as I would like to be. Full transparency, it's just a really like cuckoo season right now. So there's a whole bunch of stuff happening with work that's insane. There's a whole bunch of stuff happening with life that's insane. And I was talking to my friends about it too, and it's just like, I keep forgetting that it's not just like a bad day or like a stressful couple of days. Like I'm in a season. I need to own the fact that I'm in a difficult season, and things are just not as they normally are, and I'm just not doing things in a normal schedule that I have. So not scheduled in writing, appreciate schedule in life. And it's just all over the place right now. So I'm not like in a normal routine. I'm feeling unsettled and kind of all over the place. So I'm not doing a great job sticking to routine and having the right focus on the right things. It's just, I know this will pass. All things will pass. Like I'm fine, everything's fine. This is not drama. But it's just, there's a lot of balls in the air right now, and I'm just trying to juggle them all and have some semblance of normalcy in the middle of it all. This is nice and vague. I'm basically just all over the place, like literally and physically right now. So I'm just not kind of firing on all the cylinders, but I am also staying entertained with TV. So this is us finished, I don't know, a few weeks ago, probably, at least at the time I'm filming this. And I have heard people who didn't enjoy the ending of it. I'm not gonna spoil it, don't worry. I know time has passed, but I'm not gonna tell you guys stuff. I really liked the ending. I think it is spectacularly difficult to do a finale of a show. And I can't imagine how shows like approach this in some ways, and there have just been some really horrible ones. There have been some really good ones. Like, I think Buffy did a great job ending the show. I enjoyed the finale of Friends, but I think a lot of shows, it's just how do you wrap it all up? So I honestly feel like, and I've talked about this, I watched This Is Us religiously when it first came out, and then I stopped. It might have even been early, mid 2020, because I just did not want to watch things that were emotionally heavy. And then I heard how it was ending, and I was hearing people who were like doing a rewatch or just getting into it. So I started to like get all caught up, and I'm so glad I did. It was so good. But I really feel like the last season of the show was like one long finale because there was so much to cover. I also want to say, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like the creators of this show were very much people who were like, when we started this show, we knew how it was going to end. And it was just everything in between. But they knew the ultimate ending of the show. And while they weren't necessarily always writing every little breadcrumb for it, I love because this show is told in past and present multiple timelines that they're able to weave all sorts of different things into it. But I would say for me, like the Thanksgiving episode in the final season was top notch. And I feel like, you know, like every season they'll do like an individual, like Kate, Kevin, Randall episode. So I feel like the Kate, Kevin, Randall episodes that followed Thanksgiving were tremendous. Like there were so many great episodes, I feel like, in the finale. But the second to last episode might have been my favorite. Like I really just love what they did. And to me, the final episode was just literally quiet. Like I feel like our main characters did not talk a lot. There wasn't as much dialogue. Like there was just a lot of quiet moments in the present day timeline. And then they did a past timeline, which there was a bunch of stuff happening, but I very much enjoyed it. So that ended. I definitely had like a TV hangover from that. So hard left into murder and police investigation. So I watched a show on Amazon Prime that came to me. I was listening to a podcast with Peter Swanson being interviewed talking about 9 Lives, his new book. And the podcaster had asked him like what else he's reading or watching. And he talked about this show, Unforgotten, on Amazon Prime. You guys, this show blew my mind. Let me look up the actors that are in the show so I can get it right. Okay, so this came out in 2015. So there are 4 seasons of this show. Very late to the party as usual here. So it's a British crime drama. So it is Nicola Walker and Sanjeev Bhaskar, and they solved cold cases of disappearances and murders. So each season is an individual case, and they will solve cases from like in the opening moments of the opening episode of each season. Words. They will find a body, and it will be from 50 years ago or from 30 years ago, and they will piece together all the things and solve the crimes. But then you also get, you know, some looks into their personal lives, and obviously as you get like a 4-season trajectory, you get to know the characters more and side characters more. There is a tremendously fully fleshed out cast in this. There's so many great actors and actresses in this, and I have to say, this was so smart and well done and well written, and I found the cases really interesting, and I found the investigations really interesting, and the reveals and sort of how all the different characters connect. These also gave me kind of those Broadchurch vibes in the sense that, you know, they will find the body and then find people who are connected to them or talk to their family, and as they investigate. And I just thought it was so incredibly well done. I am so sad they only did 4 seasons of it because I would 1000% watch more of them. But Nicola Walker in particular has been in a whole bunch of things. So I started to go down a bit of a rabbit hole with her. She is such a tremendous actress. And I found a show on Hulu, sorry, I'm trying to look at the same time, which is fairly new, I want to say. Okay, so seldom right and wrong again. It's called The Split. Started in 2018. I only just found it on Hulu, so it's new to me. It's still new to me. But this is a legal drama, so it's like a family law firm, and they handle divorce cases, or at least her character does. I only got like halfway through the first episode because life, So I need to get back to it. I feel like it goes without saying it's a show you need to pay attention to. I feel like I've also talked about this in other videos. I'm trying to not just like mindlessly have TV on and not pay attention to it and miss 100 things. And I was watching this and then just got distracted with stuff. So anyway, I'm gonna get back to this. And then she's also in a show called Annika, but it's like only available on BBC, but not BBC here. So I think you need to get a paid subscription so you could watch the first episode for free on Amazon Prime. But anyway, if you cannot tell, I am completely obsessed with Nicola Walker. But this show, Unforgotten, if you guys are looking for a good, solid police drama with investigation, but like really interesting characters and character studies, it's incredibly well done. And it almost reminds me a little bit in some ways of that TV show Motive that was on years ago, where like out of the gate you knew who the killer was, and then the TV show, the police were trying to find the killer and understand the motive of why they committed the crime. So very interesting, but I'm very much enjoying this. And then my battery's gonna die, so let me change that and then we'll tell you what else I'm watching. Okay, fully charged battery, hopefully not too weird of an angle. So the other thing that I've been watching and spending a lot of my time with is I've 1000% gotten back into baseball. So I also feel like if you've been here for a long time, you've heard me talk about these things, but I grew up a Mets fan. I've always been a baseball fan. I've followed different teams as I lived in different places, but I don't know when it was. It was maybe like a month ago. And I was visiting my parents and talking to my mom, and she was talking about the Mets and how they're having a great season, and we just started to watch a game that day, and I'm hooked. I am nothing if not high-key obsessive about stuff when I have interest in them. So if you guys are baseball fans, 162 games a year, you can almost always find a game on, except for travel days like tomorrow. But I have been watching a lot of baseball. So I'm having a lot of fun with it. It is fun to sort of be back in it from when I was a kid. And then also, as I said, like I have followed different teams along the way as I've grown up. So to like see different players, and of course the reality that the players are like now the managers or the announcers, but that's okay because what is time? But it's just been fun to get into something, and then I just genuinely enjoy the sport. Although I have to say, because I haven't watched in a few years, I watched the World Series a couple years ago when Houston was playing the first time, 2018, 2019, someone can correct me. The rules have changed a lot. So I definitely was super confused about some stuff, like extra innings. I was like, was there just a really long commercial? Like, why is there already somebody on second base? Like, what the heck happened here? Oh, that's just a thing. You just plop somebody on second base now to like save time. There's a lot of time saving tricks now. They also don't flash signs anymore. It's digital. What? I feel like I'm 120 years old. Like, what? We can't just flash signs because we're just afraid people are stealing them all the time? Because I guess people were stealing them all the time. But totally enjoying it. Having a good time with it. Go Mets. Go Mets. There's a game on in a couple hours. Can't wait. I can't wait. So that has been a thing that's also happening here. So other than that, 5,000 subscribers. Life is super crazy and bonkers, trying to read books by people I love. And the rest of the summer book releases are also like insane, you guys. Absolutely insane. So I just officially placed my pre-order. Can't tap my finger here. I officially placed my pre-order for The Winners by Frederick Bachman yesterday. That comes out now end of September. It was beginning of October, but again, dates are constantly shifting on things, so I'm gonna keep an eye on that. My Murder by the Book personalized Riley Sager copy will be coming in a couple weeks, so they will ship on Pub Day. He is gonna be doing I don't know if they're gonna broadcast this actually now that I'm thinking about it. So he's doing an in-person event with Abby from Crime by the Book on the 20th. Non-normally, this was done on video the last 2 years, so they have been on YouTube, but I feel like because they're gonna be in person, I don't know if they're actually going to show it live, but I will link Murder by the Book's website for you guys. It's always linked down below, but in case you guys are interested. And then you can order a personalized copy up until the 19th of June, I wanna say, if anybody is interested in that. So that'll be coming. And then I also bought the Agathas, which I have heard such great things about, and like, any excuse to buy a book and support an indie bookstore. So I kind of like, I was like, well, I'm already paying for shipping, I might as well just throw a second book in there. So those will be coming. I'll probably do a book haul maybe at like the end of June, beginning of July. I have not been buying a ton, so I'll wait until those books get here. And then I think I also mentioned in a different video, I got approved dye for Carrie Soto is Back on NetGalley by Taylor Jenkins Reid. Carrie Soto is Back by Taylor Jenkins Reid got approved on NetGalley. So I am going to read that probably after my 5-star prediction book because priorities. So I'm really excited about that. And I just did a reread, if you guys saw my May wrap up, of Malibu Rising, which I thoroughly enjoyed it the second time around. I did the audiobook of that the second time around, and it's Julia Whalen who narrates it, but completely wanted to get like back into the mindset of Carrie Soto, or like back in the groove with Carrie Soto. And I remembered her role in Malibu Rising, but just wanted to like get a little bit of a refresher, because I hope for sure that there's gonna be either some sort of a mention back to what happened in Malibu Rising, and I really, really, really hope that McRiva makes even a slightest cameo or mention or something in Carrie Soto, because he, oddly enough, is the thread through the books. So anyway, I will keep you guys posted on all of those other things, but thank you guys. That was really the whole point of this video. Thank you guys so much for being here, for getting me to 5,000 subscribers, for continuing to watch. I can't even tell you guys like how giddy and yet like embarrassed I get when you guys say such kind things to me, and I don't know how to describe it because it's like, I'm so awkward normally, as you guys have probably figured out, and I don't always do well with kind words, but I really appreciate all the kind words. That sounded really weird, but like I don't always like do well with a compliment, you know, trying to learn how to take a compliment every once in a while. But I have had such a great time doing this. This is obviously, I'm going to continue doing this. This started out as such like putting myself into an uncomfortable place to try something new, and I have learned so much, not even just about like video and how to edit, and like have so much more fun with that. It used to stress me out big time because I was terrible at it. Not to say like my editing is amazing, but I'm much quicker than I used to be. But the community above all has just been so cool, and like meeting so many of you guys and getting such great book recommendations and being able to chat about favorite books and favorite authors and just like all things bookish life. I just appreciate it so, 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 so much. So thank you guys so much for being here today and always, and anyone who's new here, thank you for finding me. And I just am so grateful for all of you guys. So let me know if you would be interested in any kind of a Q&A. Like I said, I can always do like a separate thing for people like to collect questions or whatever, or do it on Instagram. And until then, I will see you guys in another video. So I am gonna make the podcast I'm listening to video for you guys, and kind of like some thriller recommendations, and then we'll have a Riley Sager spotlight. I'm gonna do a Jennifer Hillier spotlight because her new book is coming out next month, and what's coming out in July, like all the things, all the normal content is coming your way. So until the next time, thank you guys so much for being here. Take care, everybody, and I will see you in that next video when it comes out, with the hands, with the things, all the time. All right, bye guys.